Hello and welcome back to the next video in the StudyMonster WJEC Vocational ICT video series. So what is network hardware then? So it's the physical equipment that connects computers and devices together and allows data to be transmitted. So think of it as a digital roadmap. It's the traffic lights, the roads, the bridges, and all of these different things that allow information to get where it needs to go. So some common examples of devices that we're going to look at are switches, routers, wireless access points, and servers, among some other things as well. So first piece of hardware is a hub. So let's think about connecting devices on a network. So a hub is designed to connect your computers, your printers, or other types of devices on your local area network, and it sends data to everything that is connected to it. So advantages of hubs: they're not particularly used now, but they are very cheap, they're very easy to install. But disadvantages: they cause data collisions and they slow down large networks. So a hub is an older, less intelligent version of a switch, which we're going to talk about on the next slide. It just broadcasts data to everybody. So if you think about being in a classroom, it's instead of quietly asking somebody next to you something or passing them something, you're shouting it across a busy classroom, so everybody in that room hears what you're shouting. A hub, it's like a basic switch, but like I said before, it's a lot less intelligent. So when it receives data from one device, it doesn't know where it needs to go, so it just sends it to every device that it's connected to it, not just the one that it's meant for, which, like the disadvantages mentioned there, it's going to cause the network traffic to slow things down. So that leads us on to the switch, so the more intelligent version of a hub. So again, it connects devices on a LAN together and it allows data to be transferred from one device to another. They're a lot faster, a lot more efficient than hubs. They reduce data collisions, and that is because a switch will look at that packet of data and figure out where it needs to go. It won't broadcast that data to every device that's connected to it. It will send it only to the device that it's meant for. They're a lot more secure than hubs. They are much more expensive because of the way that they work, and they come in two different varieties. You get unmanaged switches and you get managed switches. So some switches, especially the managed ones, require configuration in a larger network setup. So they check each packet of data for an address, a MAC address, and it will send it straight to the right destination. So not every device on that network is going to get that data, which reduces that collision, like we said. So a switch connects multiple devices on a LAN. It receives data packets, checks where they're meant to go, and sends them directly to that device, which makes them fast, efficient, and secure. So no wasted traffic. So next piece of hardware is what we call a WAP, a wireless access point. These you will find all around school, in businesses, all over the place. You may have some at home, and this is not the wireless router that you've got maybe is under your TV that allows you to access the internet. A wireless access point is different. So it's what gives you Wi-Fi. It's like a digital doorway that lets devices connect to your network. So there's no cables. It connects wireless devices like laptops, tablets, and phones to wired networks. So no physical cables are needed apart from one cable that would be connected into your, maybe as a switch that would allow wireless devices to gain access to a wired network. Connects multiple devices to easily, which is a huge advantage, and it's great for flexible working. So you can have people mobile that don't have to sit at a desk, they don't have to sit at a workstation with an Ethernet cable. Disadvantages though can be slower than wired connections. There can be interference depending on if you've got walls or other devices transmitting radio waves and whatnot. A lot less secure than wired devices. Wired networks, data packets can be captured by bad actors. But basically, wired access points connects devices to a wired network without cables. It uses Wi-Fi signals, so laptops, phones, tablets, devices like that can connect anywhere within range. Obviously, the further away you go from the wireless access point, the weaker the signal's going to get. So leads us onto a router, one of the main pieces of network hardware that you need in your network. So a router is like a motorway junction of your network, so it decides which road data should take to reach its destination, so keeping everything organized and flowing smoothly. So it connects different networks together, usually your home network to the internet, so it connects LANs to WANs. So it decides the best route for data to travel from one network to another, and a router is often includes firewalls and Wi-Fi features too, especially the ones you get at home. So in the home environment, in your personal home, you would have a Wi-Fi router that has switch functionality in it, that has a wireless access point functionality in it, that has router functionality in it. In industry, in businesses, you would have network hardware for each of them different roles. So it connects different networks together. For example, your home network to the internet. It directs the data packets that it receives to the correct destination, so it routes them using an IP address, which we'll talk about in a different video. So main advantages: it manages traffic between networks. It can include firewall protection, often includes wireless features. Disadvantages: setup can be complex. The ones that you get at home are pretty much plug and play. Can be slow, can slow down under heavy use as well. So that is your router in a nutshell. Next piece of network hardware that comes in two flavors is a NIC, a network interface card. These can come in wired versions or wireless versions. So the one you can see on the screen there is a wired one, so that's expecting a network, an Ethernet cable to be plugged into it. So it allows a computer or a device to connect to a network. Essential for network communication, and it works for both wired and wireless devices. So it's what allows your device to join a network. So every NIC, every network interface card, has a unique address, and I mentioned something called a MAC address when we talked about the switch. So every network interface card will have a MAC address used to identify each device, so it's unique to that device, and that is how your switch knows which device data has come from and where that data needs to go to. Final piece of network hardware that's not mentioned in the spec for WJEC is a NAS, a network attached storage. So it's like a digital filing cabinet. Everyone can access it depending on the privileges if you set it up right correctly. Perfect for schools and small businesses that want to share resources. So network attached storage is a device used to store and share files across a network, and it acts like a shared drive that everyone in the office or that company, that school can use and access files. So centralized storage is a really good advantage when it comes to NAS boxes. So it allows you to, no matter where you are in the building, if you're on a different machine, you can access files from a central location. Easy to back up files, so it's commonly used to back up files in case something happens from a disaster point of view. Multiple users can access that data at once. Disadvantages, though, can be expensive for small startup companies, and they rely on a network connection. So leading us on to one of the main pieces of network equipment is servers. Now, you might have heard of the term server before. Basically, powerful computers that manage services on a network. That could be storing files, hosting a website, sending emails, lots of different things. So a server is a powerful computer that provides resources or services to other devices on that network. And they do lots of different jobs. So we've got a table below there that you can see. File servers, you might have a file server where you host all of your shared drives, all your files that your different employees can access from a centralized location. You've got web servers where you might host your company website on so that people can access and download your website. Mail servers for sending and receiving emails. Print servers for managing printers, so all of the print jobs are sent to a print server, which would then manage them and ensure that they're sent to the correct printer, printed out or held there until the employee releases them on the printer. Database server stored structured data like student information, company employee records, different things like that. So server is one of the main pieces of network hardware to create a very efficient network in a business or small business or school, or even at home. Some people do have home servers now. So let's look at applying. Let's look at a quick model question. So explain one reason why your business would use a switch instead of a hub in a network. So thinking all the way back to the first two pieces of hardware, we talked about a hub, and then we talked about the more intelligent version, which is a switch. So if we have a look at an answer for this one for 2 marks, we need to understand that a switch is more intelligent than a hub and will only broadcast to the device that needs that data. So we've gone on to say a switch sends data only to the device it's meant for, which reduces unnecessary network traffic and improves speed. So basically we're telling the examiner there that we know that a hub is going to send information to everyone. That's going to cause data collisions. A reason why your business might use a switch instead is because the device, it only sends data to the device it's intended for, which is going to reduce unnecessary network traffic, therefore improving speed. So 3 questions for you to have a go at. So you can drop your answers in the comments if you want to, but you can pause the video. So state the main function of a router for 1 mark. Okay, so state the main function of a router. A router connects different networks together. So that is enough for 1 mark there. But we've gone on and extended it a little bit further, and it directs data between them. For example, a home network, a LAN, to an internet, which is a WAN. Second level question, a silver level question, if you want to pause the video. Explain why a wireless access point, a WAP, is useful in a school environment for 3 marks. Okay, so let's have a look at an answer for this one. A WAP allows students and teachers to connect laptops, tablets and phones to the school network without cables. This makes the classroom more flexible and reduces the need for wired connections. You could even talk about reducing the risk of trips because there's no wires, and so on and so forth. Final question, a 6 mark question, gold question. So a company is upgrading its network to share files, host its website, and improve data security. So describe the role of 2 different types of servers and 1 other piece of network hardware that would support this upgrade. So 6 marks question, so this one's going to be quite lengthy. Pause the video and have a go. Okay, so model answer for this question. So a file server, so we've got a mark there because we've stated one of the servers, types of servers, would let employees store and share documents centrally so everyone can access the latest version. So we've got 2 marks there, 2 marks there. A web server, so we've got another mark, a 3rd mark, would host the company website and handle requests from customers online. So there's another mark, so we've got 4 marks, and then we've gone on to add in a piece of equipment, piece of hardware that would support this upgrade. So a switch would connect the computers or servers and other devices together, allowing devices to communicate with each other. So we've got enough there for our 6 marks. We've got a mark each for file server, web server and switch, and then we've explained what each of them pieces of hardware are or do. So very quickly, quick reminder, switches are smart devices that send data to the right destination. Hubs are basic devices which send data to all information and will slow the network down. WAPs connect wireless devices to a wired network. A router connects networks to and routes data, so connect a local area network to a wide area network. NICs or network interface cards allow devices to join networks, and you can get wired or wireless NICs. NAS boxes or network attached storage allow for a centralized file storage area that people on a network can access. And servers provide a range of different resources or services to devices on a network. For example, a web server for emails, a web server to host your website, email servers to host your emails on, file servers for file servers, things like that. So don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.